Some senators are saying that the Medicaid cuts in Donald Trump's budget bill are too aggressive for politically vulnerable Republicans. Earlier this week, Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina provided GOP lawmakers with a document that outlined the billions of dollars of Medicaid money red states would lose if lawmakers passed this bill. And he warned Republicans that they would suffer major losses in 2026 if that framework becomes law. But former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is pressing his party to pass a bill despite those concerns about Medicaid cuts. First reported by Punchbowl News while discussing the bill, McConnell said, quote, "Failure is not an option," adding, quote, "I know a lot of us are hearing from people back at home, but they'll get over it." With this now, no, they won't. Senior correspondent, reporter at Punchbowl News, Andrew Desiderio. Andrew, this does fit very neatly into the Joni Ernst basket of things you do not say about people losing their health care, their children losing their health care, their parents losing their health care, their families losing their health care. Joni Ernst, of course, saying, well, people are we're all going to die anyway. Now you have Mitch McConnell saying, yeah, this would be bad, but people will get over it. Talk about that meeting, and I'm fascinated about Tom Tillis's position leading the charge against these Medicaid cuts.
Yeah, look, all of this took place behind closed doors. Senate Republicans held closed-door meetings on Monday evening and then yesterday at lunch. This remark from Senator McConnell came during the lunch meeting yesterday. And I have to say, Senate Republicans that I talked to after the meeting, this was the first thing that they brought up because they were so shocked that McConnell said it and that he said it in the way that he did, just given that other senators in the room, like Senator Tillis, for example, right, have raised significant concerns about these Medicaid cuts in the bill, and not just with the policy itself, but how it will affect Republicans politically. I mean, Senator Tillis was very straightforward in his presentation during the lunch yesterday, in which he said this will be our version of Obamacare. And what he was referring to was the fact that Republicans like himself swept into power in 2014, partially because of that rocky rollout of Obamacare. And so Senator Tillis was making the point that the Medicaid cuts that Republicans would own in this scenario could harm Republicans similar to how they harmed Democrats politically in races like 2014, again, when Republicans swept into power, of course, and took control of the Senate. I actually have the document here that a Republican senator slipped to me of those Medicaid cuts. This is what Senator Tillis was outlining to his colleagues. States like West Virginia, $6.2 billion, Missouri, $6.1 billion. But then you look at North Carolina, and we're looking at almost $40 billion forfeited over the next decade. And it's striking to see a comment like this on the flyer. Again, Senator Tillis handed this out. He said Medicaid coverage for over 600,000 North Carolinians would be at risk. I mean, the attack ads from Democrats almost write themselves at that point.
Yeah, Andrew, certainly it seems like Senator Tillis' assessment of the politics situation seemed pretty spot on. So, there's been a lot of polling that backs that up. So what's the leadership saying, perhaps even behind closed doors? What is Leader Thune and others saying in terms of the best way forward as they're getting, it's only going to grow, an immense amount of pressure from the White House to get this done and get this done soon?
Yeah, absolutely. The Senate Republican leadership is absolutely relying on that pressure from the president, especially after he gets back from the NATO summit in the Netherlands later this evening. But Senator Thune is getting pressure from his House counterpart, Speaker Mike Johnson, right? This sheet that Senator Tillis handed out, $20 billion forfeited by the state of Louisiana, of course, where Speaker Johnson hails from, over the next decade when you talk about these Medicaid cuts. Speaker Johnson has communicated privately to his members and to Senator Thune that this package, as it stands, could not pass in the House of Representatives, even when you add this potential rural hospital stabilization fund that they're talking about, maybe to the tune of around $100 billion, which would satisfy a lot of Senate Republicans. Speaker Johnson is making the case to Leader Thune that this would not satisfy enough of his members to get this over the finish line. So Leader Thune is getting pressure from really all sides on this, and he's going to have to make a decision very, very soon in terms of how to proceed here. Do they want to go more closely with the House framework, or do they want to keep their own framework here for these Medicaid cuts? And that's really the big question.
Yeah, we have a crucial week or two ahead on this. Senior congressional reporter at Punchbowl News, Andrew Desiderio. Andrew, good to see you this morning. Thank you for joining us.